Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's Jason from the Brashgate. Hey, happy motherfucking Fidget Friday. Hope you guys are doing well. So real quick, well, probably in about 10 minutes, I'm going to go over my 10 top fidget fun factor knives I have. Out of the 10, there are only 2 that were over 400 bucks. The BRB V2, it's Blurrock. How do you say that? Hold on. Blurrock. Anyways, that one, and then the Vero, because I got it on the secondary market, I think I paid some ridiculous price for this. They normally go for about $380. I got mine for like, I'm not gonna lie, I got it for like 500 bucks, whatever. I'm that guy. So check it out. You might notice there's only 9 on the table. I'm gonna save my favorite one for the end, and it is not the SG Gripper. So check it out. This is the Bestek, right? Malware. Super skinny, right? Super unrealistic blade, right? Like, honestly, are you really going to use this thing? Not really. But it looks fucking cool. But check it out. What's even cooler than how it looks is the action. This is a Bestek made knife. Now, it has a really light, thin blade. But if you just give it a little wrist, it just falls shut. Now, it's not drop shut. You got to wrist it. But it's pretty consistent and it's very smooth. Watch. Right? You got the flipper tab, right? You have the finger slash thumb hole plus a little bit of a fuller. I just hit it right in the hole though. And just an amazing fun knife to play around with, right? So yeah, this is the Todd Knife and Tool Malware made by Bestek. Number 10. Number 9, the Vero Engineering Accent. This is a very, very smooth knife, right? Really good action. Has a front flipper, and you have these little like mini fullers, right? That you can finger flick or thumb flick off. I don't know what my favorite way of opening this knife is. I'd probably say, I think I like the flipper tab on this. Another thing about this knife, it's also made by Bestek, right? Very, very smooth. I hear people saying that Besteks have weak detents, especially on the Vero Engineering Accents. It's not the heaviest detent, but I wouldn't call it weak. Maybe I got lucky, but mine's pretty good to go. I mean, I would say it's on the maybe the lighter side, but I wouldn't call it too light, if that makes sense. So, yeah. Number 9, the Vero Accent. Number 8. Whoa, we have another one from Bestek. I see a trend, right? This is the fractal. Now, this is a Bestek designed and made knife. I'm not too stoked on the carbon fiber inserts, but that's not why I bought this knife. I bought this knife because of that fucking wicked ass Warrenclyffe blade. And at the time, I was trying to get a couple knives with some color for my collection and saw this and liked it. Now, there's some gripes about this knife if you go watch my fractal video, but that's a different video. What I do like about this knife is the action. Now watch this. I mean, drop shut, right? And it's tightened up too. I don't have like the detent like all loosened or anything. It's pretty damn solid, right? I believe I loaned this to Dirk, and I think he actually tightened the pivot for me because it was a little loose. But even cranked down, has really good action, right? You got like the thumb finger hole, also have a flipper tab, and that's another thing with me and Fidget Friendly knives. They don't have to have 16 ways of deployment. That's not what makes a knife fun for me. It's the opening and closing of it, right? Some knives I like to play around with more than others, right? These are the ones that I really like and stand out when we're talking about fidget factor. So yeah, another one by Bestek. Number 8, this is the AK Arcona. Now, I forgot the name of this knife, but I know the designer, Ivan Braganets. Now, I have about 4 Ivan Braganets design knives. On the table, there's actually 2. This one and the Crystal Knives Aurora. But this one, there's only one way of deployment, and that's the front flipper tab, right? Or front flipper, whatever, you know what I'm saying, this fucking chingadera right here. What I like about this knife, I always get all upset when I see guys open the knives like that, right? This is the only front flipper I have where I can actually do the you know, that thing with it. So it's pretty fun. What I also like about this knife and what stands out aside from how awesome it is, and it was only $85 from Knife Nuts Podcast, is watch this action, guys. First of all, look at the liner lock. It's like a little button, right? And it acts like one too. Watch, you push that button, break that detent, and it's just butter. Watch that again. I mean, it's fucking butter. So yeah, the Ivan Braganets, again, this is made by AK Arcona. I forgot the name of the knife. I'm sorry, but I bought this from the Knife Nuts Podcast. Number 5, this is the Crystal Knives Aurora, designed by, again, Ivan Braganets. Now, the detail that Crystal Knives does on their fucking knives is amazing. Look at the machine work, right? And like, that's like whatever. You see a lot of that, right? But look at how dialed that pocket clip is. Look how the machine lines match the scale. That's pretty sleazy, right? Now, this is a flipper tab knife, right? You also have these external stop studs that you can use as thumb or, you know, finger studs. But that's not why I like this knife so much. What's so fidget factor friendly about this knife is the disengagement, right? When you're unlocking a blade, dude, it feels like any other. I don't have a knife that feels even close to how this one feels. It's hard to explain. And with that really thin, right, aerodynamic blade, it's not like drop shut where you hold it like this and it drops shut, but you just give it a little bit of motivation and it comes down. Here, watch. Let me not try so hard. Oh, you have to feel it to understand. It's fucking amazing. Again, I don't pick out fidget friendly knives just because they have 12 ways of deployment, right? It's the experience when you're opening it, how it feels, right? Like the sounds it makes. This thing, I said it on the review of this knife. When you open it, here, let me see if I can do it for you guys. Listen to the pop when it locks open. Man, you really feel it like lock in, and it is rock solid with those external stop studs in that little stop stud house right there. And again, when you unlock this knife, it just feels fucking amazing. Super light knife, man. Super milled out. Was only 250 bucks. This I got from the Knife Nuts Podcast as well. This, the Arcane Crawler. Now this is a badass looking knife, right? So this is one of those knives I never carry. I think I've carried it once, maybe twice, just to sort of show the guys at the tattoo shop, right? I believe Riot makes this knife. It's amazing. It's a nice knife. Great action, right? You have like a thumb / finger hole, right? Just, I mean, a wicked DLC job on this. Man, the coating is done so well. It's so consistent. Everything about this build is just amazing. I mean, look at that thing, right? You could tell I don't carry it either. I mean, and that's the thing. With DLC / PVD coated knives, I never really carry them that much because I'm always worried to get that first, you know, scratch. But then usually once I get the first scratch, then they're fucking, you know, EDC daily driver type knives. But yeah, great knife, great fucking action. Just, you know, multiple ways of deployment. You know, also have a flipper tab, which I rarely use, but it's there. Just a fucking great knife. This Crawler and then the Arcane Necronaut is another good knife. What is this? This is number 7. This is the Blurrock BRB 3V2, I think. So, this one's weird. So, it's not like drop shut, but this of the knives on the table has the smoothest feeling action. And what I mean by that is, even though it's not like drop shut, right? Okay, so you dig it. Check it out. This guy, what he does is, let me see if I can show you guys. It's going to be hard to do, but I'm going to try. Okay, hold up. If you look right there, you see the groove in the blade for the detent ball to sort of ride in. It's not like on, say, like this Mini Marauder, where you just have like the hole, and then you'll see like the little line that the detent ball sort of scratches into the blade, right? This is an actual groove, like it's deep, right, for that detent ball to fall into and ride on. It's like glass, guys. I mean, it's hard to explain the action on this. It's similar to the Aurora's, you know, disengagement action. It's hard to explain because I don't have another knife that feels like this. But man, when you freaking are playing around with this, there's no resistance, right? Like, it's just so like buttery smooth. It's really hard to explain, man. You're just gonna have to get one of these and check it out. Highly recommend this knife, but by far the most expensive one on the table at about $550. So yeah. Number 8. You know this had to be on it. The EMP EDC Nimble. This motherfucker right here. John is a buddy of mine. Support everything that guy does. Everything he's done to date, I like. Hands down, the most ways of deployment of any knife on the table, right? You got that front stuff, right? You got the fucking flipper, right? You got your deployment holes, so you can spidey flick or thumb flick. I believe this knife was, I can even do it lefty, and I'm not very good at doing lefty, so that says something about the knife. I believe it was like under 300 bucks. I forget, but it was under 300. One of my favorites on the table for sure, and one of the most used. I'll take this thing out every couple days to run, just because I'm kind of like, I'm trying to put a lot of miles on this knife so I can do an update video on it later, and let you guys know how awesome it's been doing. I have touched the blade up once or twice. It comes back very nice, and it's not too terribly hard to sharpen, but keeps a nice edge. So yeah, that's number 8. Number 9 is a little guy, this being the cheapest knife on the table. I think this was 50, 60 bucks. This is the CEVodium. Now, I know a lot of people talk about the, what's that one that they just came out with? The little one, the mini, with the flat grind, with the nitro V steel. Anyways, this is similar in size to that, right? Has that front finger choil, right? Even without using it though, on such a small knife, I can still pretty much get all 4 fingers on it. It's close, but I mean, technically I can, right? But don't matter, because when I use this knife, I would absolutely choke up on it. This is the knife, like when I'm going out to dinner with the family, right? And I need a black knife. This is the knife I'll grab if I don't know which one I want to carry. Like, I'll just go for this one, right? You know, budget friendly, 60 bucks, multiple ways of deployment. Really nice knife. Fucking super cool for 60 bucks, right? Now, my number 1 knife. If I could only have one knife, right, on this table, or the one in my pocket, I would pick the EMP EDC Thick Boy. I'm going to tell you why. Those are all fun, right? There's some good things about all these knives, like the Aurora, great, you know, disengaging of the lock, right? A lot of good stuff, a lot of good action on the Bestek knives, whether it be the Vero or the fractal, right? A lot of good stuff here. But something about the Thick Boy, the way it feels when you open that bitch with that fatty fucking blade, right? That Warren cleaver. It's just so satisfying to play around with this knife. And kind of like the Nimble, I'm not very good lefty, guys, right? So I'm showing you this. I can pretty much, I wouldn't say 100%, I'd say 99.9% of the time, I can fucking work this knife left-handed, and I am not a good lefty, right? It has that nice, generous deployment hole, and that's the only way of opening this knife. It has no flipper tab. You can't front flip it, right? Just that hole, but that's all you need, guys. This thing is sick. Not only would this be the one I would keep, I absolutely would never sell this knife. It was a gift from my buddy John. It's a one-off. This is has M390 blade steel. The production line, I think, has S35VN. We'll never sell it because John's a friend of mine, and it's just, you know, going to be something I pass down to my kid. So anyways, guys, here's 10 of my most favorite fidget-friendly knives. Hope you guys had a great week. Have a killer weekend, and you know the deal. Stay safe, shoot straight. Until the next one. Yeah.